Got it.
हाँ ऑप्शन है.
Okay, option A. ठीक है. So
हाँ
that is
हाँ.
right. Number 2, 52.
Number 2 is 52 is 11.
D, that is right. Okay. The
इसमें
next
मैंने
one.
कैसे किया था कि जैसे
हाँ.
रिवर्स ऑर्डर में भी चाहिए था ना, तो मैंने एज्यूम कर लिया था मतलब एक नंबर जैसे 12 और 21,
हम्म.
तो उससे कर लिया था. x was 12 and y was 21.
हम्म.
सो इनका टोटल जो था वो 33 था, और जो उसका फैक्टर था वो 11 ही बन रहा था. 11 का
Okay.
फैक्टर. हम्म.
Okay. Let me just give you a brief to you on this. The positive, you took an example. I'm going to give you the complete logic on this. The
ठीक है.
positive two-digit integers x and y have the same digits,
हम्म.
but in reverse. The logic behind this question is the positive two integers. पहला integer x ले लो. Let's say the number is ab,
हम्म.
and y becomes by reversing the digit, that is ba.
हम्म.
Now, if I take the place value, b is b, and a is going to be 10 into a because that is a tenth digit.
अच्छा ठीक है.
In y, it is a, and this becomes 10b, 10 into b. Now, if I add x and y, that means I'm not adding a, b, b, a. I'm adding 10a plus b. Now, that is my x,
हम्म.
and my y is 10b plus a.
हम्म.
So, if I add both of them, if I add x plus y, I get 10a plus a, 11a, b and 10b, 11b. 11 is common, and a plus b. From
हम्म.
where I can say which of the following must be a factor of x plus y? 11. So that is the
हम्म.
answer. How I can give it.
ठीक है.
So this is the logic
ठीक है.
behind it.
ठीक है
Number
सर.
53, what is the answer to this?
सर 52 नहीं किया था.
53
ओ
nahi kiya.
53, हाँ सॉरी 53.
Okay, let's see that. In a certain sequence of 8 numbers, each number after the first is one more than the previous number. If the first number is minus 5, how many numbers in the sequence are positive? It's quite easy. Minus 5 के बाद next number में 1 add कर दो, become minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1,
ओके
2.
ठीक है.
You got 8 digits.
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
Now they say
तो
how
ये
many are positive? Only 1 and 2 because 0 is neither negative nor positive. So the answer is 2. Clear?
ठीक है. क्लियर.
Answer 54, please.
S by R minus N.
That is option number E. That is right. Number 55.
55 is B.
B.
हाँ ये वाला. Yeah.
Okay. 56 says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, company A, B, C, D, E. The table shows the number of packages shipped daily by each of the 5 companies during a 4-day period. The standard deviation of the number of packs shipped daily during the period was greatest for which of the 5 companies?
Hmm.
Now, the one thing, how you can do it, you have to find out standard deviation is greatest for which of these 5 companies. Now, that is what exactly you have to find out. Now, how will you do it? The first of all, standard deviation is what? It is the difference of averages, right? That we know. If I take a difference of average from the actual number and then I square it and then just square root it, that is a standard deviation. That's what we discussed, right?
Correct,
So
correct.
now, right? So you remember that, right?
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
So now in this case, first of all, I have to find out the mean for all these 5 companies. And then I have to find out the deviation also.
Hmm.
So if I take the mean in the first case, company A 45 plus 55 plus 50 plus 50. So X
200.
bar, that is 200 by 450 आ जाएगा.
Hmm.
In this 10 plus 30, 40 plus 40, 80, 80 by 4, 20 आ जाएगा. Now this is 34 plus 30, 64, 64 plus 56. That is 120, 120 by 4, 30 आ जाएगा. Then I have 39 and 41 80 and 80 160, 160 by 4 40 आ जाएगा. And then company E, that is 120 and 120 240 240 by 60 I get. So this is the X bar.
Hmm.
Clear?
Yes.
Now deviations which I have, deviations means X bar minus the values as we just discussed, and we
Hmm.
discussed that when we talked about standard deviation also,
Hmm.
right? So let's go ahead and check out the deviations also. What is the deviation I get? So first of all, I'll find deviation, that is X bar minus X.
X minus X bar or X
X,
bar
sorry,
minus
X minus X bar.
X minus X bar.
Right. So we write it as DI. That is X minus X bar. So 45 minus 50 minus 5 plus 5 and 0 0. And if I have to find out DI square, I get minus 5 ka square 25 plus 5 ka square 25 plus 0 plus 0. That means this number is coming out to be 50.
Hmm.
Then here 10 minus 20 minus 10 ka square 100 plus 20 minus 30 again 30 minus 20 again 10, that is 100 plus again 100 plus again 100. So total comes out to be 400. For the company C, it is 4 square 16 plus 28 32 square 4 again 4 and then 0. That comes out to be 24. Here 39
One,
minus 51 plus 4
four,
plus 1
one,
plus 4. This is 10. Now for company E, that is 60
hundred,
10 ka square 100 plus 0
hundred,
plus 0 plus 100. So that is
200.
200.
Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
Now I know the formula for standard deviation is going to be what? Di square by 4 का square root. Now divide by 4 हर एक में करना है, square root हर एक में करना है. सबसे ज्यादा वैल्यू di square की यहाँ पर है. That means company B का standard deviation सबसे ज्यादा होगा. Because the
Hmm.
formula for the standard deviation, this is the sign of standard deviation,
Hmm.
that we have summation of di square divided by n. So n is same for company A, B, C, D, E. N is same for everybody. Square root is same for everybody. The only this thing is different. So higher di square is, higher the value of standard deviation. So I don't need to calculate it. I can still straight away say the 400 is my answer. That means company B gonna have the highest deviation. Clear?
Yes.
Next question, 57. What is the answer to 57? The 57th question says company Q plans to make a new product next year and sell each unit of this new product at a selling price of $2. The variable costs per unit in each production run are estimated to be 40% of the selling price. And the fixed cost for each production run are estimated to be 5040. Based on this, how many units of the new product will company Q need to make and sell in order of their revenue to equal their total cost for each production run? That means it's a break even point. Total cost equal to total sales.
Hmm.
So the cost gonna be 5040 plus 40% of $2 and of n number of units. जितने भी units आप बनाने वाले हो, that should be equal to selling price of n units. $2 into n. Is this equation clear?
Hmm.
Now we
So,
just solve it.
total. total cost plus 40% of $2, and there are n number
into
of units.
number of, right.
Yeah, so equal to में आपने n number of units ही रखा है ना?
That's right. N number of units multiplied by the selling cost per unit. 2
हाँ हाँ
into
हाँ,
n.
correct correct. Hmm.
That is 2 into 2, 4 by 5n. That is equal to 2n. Taking this towards the right hand side, it will be subtracted then. It will be cancelled from here. It went to the other side. Now this is equal to, if I take an LCM, I get 6 by 5n. Now that means n is equal to 5040 multiplied by 5 upon 6. That is 6 into 8, 48, 3, 0. That means 5 into 0, 0. 5 into 3, 15, 5, 1 remainder. That is 4150. What is the point? Okay, sorry. What I did, it's 840. 6 into 8, 48, and 6 into 4, 24. 840 into 5, that is 4200. The number of units we have to make, that is 4200. That is the answer. Okay?
Hmm.
We need to understand this equation first. If this is clear, the whole question gonna be clear.
ठीक है.
It says a small business invests $9,900 in equipment to produce a product. This is the investment. Each unit of the product costs $0.65 to produce and is sold for rupees 1.20. How many units of the product must be sold before the revenue received equal the total expense? Same kind of question. This is again
Okay.
the how many units have to produce. So I have invested $9,900 plus n units, and the cost of n units is 0.65. That is equal to selling price of n units, that is n into 1.20 units. Now that means this is 9900, that is equal to 1.20 minus 0.65. N is common, this is 0.55 n, that is equal to 9900. Now if you solve it for n, you get n is equal to multiplied by 100 divided by 55, right? 0.55 became 55 by 100, and when I inverse it, 55, 100 by 55. Now 11 into 5, 11 into 9, 0, 0, 5 into 180. That means 180 into 100, that becomes 18,000. So that is the answer I get. Again, you have to understand this equation first. That's the point.
Hmm.
Clear?
हाँ जी.
Okay,
And
the next
59 without. 59 without.
here we go. Okay. Estimate number of homeschooled students by state January 2001. A is 181. The number is in thousand, they say. B is 125. C is 103. D is 79. E is 72. According to the table shown, the estimated number of homeschooled students in state E is approximately what percent greater than the student in state D? So greater, that means I have to first of all find the difference between them. So 181 minus 79 divide by, now what exactly we put a denominator? Denominator is always what we are comparing with.
Hmm.
So we are comparing with greater than the number of state D. So this is the comparison parameter for me. After then we
Okay.
have, so state D, that means this is 79 multiplied by 100 to convert that into percentage. So what I get? I get 181 minus 79. We get
02.
102 divide by 79 into 100. Now they said approximately बताना है. So let's make it 80. Now 20 into 4, 20 into 5. Right? Now this is 2 into 2, 51. So 51 into 5, that is 5 into 1, 5, 5, 250, 225, sorry, 255 by 2. So that is approximately 122.5. So approximately answer gonna be D. Because I said approximately. So that gives me a leverage. Clear?
Clear.
Next, 60th.
D option 9 by 4n.
Great. 61.
ये नहीं किया.
Thank you. Kevin invested $8,000 for 1 year at a simple interest rate of 6%, and invested $10,000 for 1 year at an annual interest rate of 8% compounded semi-annually. Semi-annually means we have to reduce the interest rate by dividing it by 2 and multiplying the time in by 2. Multiply time 2 and rate of interest will be divided by 2.
ये
What is the
कंसेप्ट
total
अलग
amount? ये हाँ ये कंसेप्ट में किया था अगर आपको ध्यान हो कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट वाला.
नहीं.
We did this.
हाँ, we did it, बट ये सेमी एनुअली क्या होता है? ये टर्म क्या है वैसे?
हाफ ईयरली. सेमी मतलब हाफ ईयरली.
अच्छा, ठीक है, हाफ ईयरली. ओके.
तो केविन इन्वेस्टेड 8,000 for 1 year. तो $8,000 principal into rate into time. That is the formula we had to find out the interest. Simple interest. So principal is 8,000. Simple interest is rate T. For 1 year, that is 1. Divide by 100. So from this, he earned $480. Now, this was the formula for simple interest. So we calculated that 480. Now, for compound interest, actually, we have a formula of compound amount. So we have to find out compound interest. We have to subtract principal from the compound interest, or let me just phrase it this way. Compound interest, that is equal to compound amount minus principal, because we don't have a direct formula to find out compound interest. So first of all, we'll find compound interest. The formula for that is principal into 1 plus r by 100 raised to power t. Now r is the rate of interest, t is the number of years. Now this is for annual, but they said semi-annual hai. That
हाँ.
means when it is semi-annual, then r becomes r by 2 and t becomes multiplied by 2, because semi-annual means in 1 year we have to pay it twice. Now with this formula, if I go, principal we have 10,000, multiply 1 plus r by 2 r, I have 8%. So 8 divided by 2, 4. Divide by 100 raised to power time gonna be 1 year again. So 1 into 2, I'll get 2 here. So this is 125. So if I calculate it further, I get 10,000 multiplied by 26 ka square by 25 ka square, which is 625, and 26 ka square, that is 676. Now how did I get 26 by 25? This is 1 plus 1 plus 1 by 25. So 25 was the LCM. So that
हाँ,
was a simple
got it.
calculation, right? So we got 26 by 25 ka whole square.
हम्म,
That's what I put here.
ठीक है.
Now after this, if I solve it, now 625, it goes on 25 ka table, I can easily say. So 25 into 25, this is 25 into 400. Then this is 25 into 16. Now 16 into 676, that I have to multiply. Let's just rub this thing. आसान हो जाएगा. Now that is equal to 16 into 676. That is 16 into 696, 9 remainder. 112 and 9, 121, 12 remainder, 96 and 108. Now this is the compound amount. Compound interest find करने के लिए we have to subtract compound principal also. So we get 816. That is my compound interest. Now if I add both the simple interest and the compound interest, 196. Is it clear now?
हाँ जी सर.
Okay. Next 62.
X by 35.
Okay, that is right. 63.
ये नहीं किया, ये डाउट है.
Okay. In a certain function, the denominator is 16 greater than the numerator. So if numerator is x, denominator gonna be x plus 16. If the fraction is equivalent to 80%, that means 80 by 100. That is 4 upon 5. Do a cross multiply. 5x is equal to 4x plus 64. That means x is equal to 64. Now what is the denominator? That is x plus 16. So 64 plus 16, that is 80. That is the answer I have. ठीक है? Answer to 64.
64. 64 भी नहीं किया सर.
नहीं किया. Let's do that also. So totally gonna get $180 as per the question, right?
हाँ जी.
On day 1 and day 2, this is together gonna earn $180. They said greatest possible number of units on one day. That means on day 1 or day 2, on any of these day, he has produced, he assembled minimum units. Minimum, that means 30 at least they have said. So 30 units, let's say he produced on day 1. So 30 units assembled, he got $60 for that. Plus, let's say day 2 he produced 40 at the price of $2, and the remaining n at the price of $2.5. This is day 2, the amount he gonna get, and this is day 1 he gonna get. Is this clear? Now this should be 30 into 260 plus 40 into 280 plus 2.5 n. That should be equal to 180. That means if I take 2.5 n here, and this is gonna be after calculation 60 and 180, 140, 180 minus 140 is 40. So n is going to be 40 divided by 2.5. That is 25 by 10. N is going to be 16. So on day 2 he can produce 40 plus n. That means the answer gonna be 40 plus 16. That is 56 units. That is the unit. That is the answer we are getting. Is it better now?
हाँ सर.
65th. Is it done?
हाँ जी. बी आंसर, बी ऑप्शन.
ठीक है. 66.
नहीं, 66 भी नहीं हुआ था.
Okay. 66 says L and Ben are driver for SD trucking company. On snowy day, Ben left SD at 8 a.m. heading east, and AI left SD at 11 a.m. heading west. At a particular time later that day, the dispatcher retrieved data from SD's vehicle tracking system. The data showed that up to that time, L had averaged 40 miles per hour and Ben had averaged 20 miles per hour. It also showed that L and Ben had driven a combined total of 240 miles. At what time did the dispatcher retrieve data from the vehicle tracking system? Now at 8 a.m., Ben left SD. He is heading east. Let's make it in between, in center, because they are moving in opposite direction. So 8 a.m., he is moving in this direction, Bell, at a speed of 40. sorry, 20 miles per hour, and at 11 a.m. L moved towards west, and speed for L, that is 40 miles per hour. Now from 8 to 11, Ben is already 60 miles away because distance, that is equal to speed into time. That means he has reached already 60 miles. And they said they have driven a combined total of 240 miles. Out of 240 miles, 60 miles has been already driven. The remaining is 180. Now there is a concept of relative speed that I'm going to play a role here. Relative speed says when two things are moving in opposite direction, then we add their speeds, and if the two things are moving in the same directions, we subtract their speeds, because relatively, in this case, they are moving at very fast speed towards or away from each other, and here they are overtaking at a very slow speed because their speeds are cancelling each other. So when they are moving in opposite direction, the relative speed becomes 40 plus 20, 60 miles per hour. Time, the formula for time is distance by speed. Now distance, we are already left 60 miles. Ben had already covered before 11 a.m. So the remaining was 240 minus 60, 180. Now relative speed is 60 miles per hour. That means 3 hours after 11,
Hmm.
the reading was taken. That means it's 2 p.m.
Okay. ठीक है.
So we'll take care of this in the, if this topic also we can take care separately. It's a very important topic. Speed, time, and distance. What is the
ठीक
answer
है.
to 67th?
ये भी नहीं हुआ सर 67.
Okay. On the land owned by a farmer, 90% was cleared for planting. Of the cleared land, 40% were planted with soybeans and 50% of the cleared land was planted with wheat. If the remaining 720 acres of cleared land was planted with corn, how many acres did the farmer own? Okay, so of the land owned by a farmer, 90% was cleared for planting. So if there is 100%, out of which 90% was cleared for planting, of the cleared land, that means out of 90%, 40%. Now 90% का अगर मैं 40% कैलकुलेट करूं, that is 36%. तो 90 में से 36% land was used for soybeans, and 50% the cleared land, matlab 50%, if I talk about 90%, that is 45%, that was cleared with wheat, planted with wheat. Now the total comes out to be 81%, that has been already been planted. Remaining out of 90 with 81, that is 9%. Now this 9% land is equal to 720 acres. So how many acres did the farmer own? 1% is equal to 720 by 9. 100% is equal to into 100. 9 into 8, 72. 80 into 10, 100, that is 8,000. That is the answer. ठीक है?